The middle of a championship defense needs a heart. It needs someone who sets the tone on every single snap, someone who makes opposing offenses think twice running their play, someone whose presence alone changes how the game is called. And right now, with everything happening around the league, the draft approaching fast, I need to talk to you about something that could completely reshape how we view this Lions defense moving forward. Welcome to Lions News Fan Report, your home for the most comprehensive, up-to-date coverage and insider analysis of our beloved Detroit Lions. Here you're going to get the latest, deepest breakdowns and all the updates that matter for the team. And today, I'm bringing you something that has the potential to define our entire offseason strategy. Stay with me, because what I'm about to break down could be the difference between another playoff disappointment and finally breaking through to that championship level. Let me start by painting the picture of where we are right now. The Lions hold the 17th overall pick in this year's, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's a position where magic can happen. We're not picking at the very top where you're forced to take whoever falls to you, regardless of fit. We're not picking so late that all the elite talent is gone. We're in that sweet spot where legitimate game changers are still on the board, and we have the luxury of selecting based on scheme and immediate potential. This draft class is deep, incredibly, and the first round is loaded with prospects who can step in and contribute from day one. Now, I need you to think about something for us. Think about our defense over the past season. Think about the moments when everything was on the line. Championships were within reach. One more stop could have changed everything. And think about what consistently let us down. I'm not talking about effort. I'm not talking about heart. I'm talking about having that physical presence in the middle of the defense who can make plays in run support, drop back into coverage when needed, and generate pressure on the quarterback when we dial up the blitz. That's been missing. That's the piece we haven't. Dan Campbell, he wants physical football. He wants players who aren't afraid of contact, who embrace the grind, set a tone that makes opponents uncomfortable. And when you look at our defensive needs heading into, nothing is more glaring than finding that tone. Yes, we need secondary help, as injuries have absolutely devastated that position group for 2 straight seasons. Yes, could use more, but here's the reality. You can scheme around those things. You can't scheme around not having the physical present linebacker who commands respect and makes plays sideline to sideline. The 2026 draft class features several intriguing linebacker prospects, but there's one name that's coming up in conversations around Ford Field, one player whose skill set seems almost tailor-made for what we're trying to build, Troy. This prospect comes from a program that has become the premier pipeline for NFL talent, a program that has sent 20 first-round picks to the league in recent years under their current head coach. I'm talking about the Georgia Bulldogs, and their head coach Kirby Smart has essentially filled the void left by Nick Saban's retirement as the best college-to-pro developer of talent in the country. The player I'm referring to has every single attribute you want in a modern linebacker: speed that allows him to flow sideline to sideline and chase down plays from behind, instincts that help him diagnose plays quickly and get himself in position to make impact play, versatility that means you can use him in run support, drop him back in coverage, or send him after the quarterback on blitz package, physical toughness that fits exactly what Dan Campbell values in his player. This isn't a one-dimensional linebacker who can only do one thing well. This is a complete player who can excel in every phase of defensive football. C.J. Allen, that's the linebacker who could transform our defense overnight, and I need to explain to you exactly why this makes so much sense, why the fit is perfect, and why Lions fans should be absolutely ecstatic if we can somehow land his 17th overall. Allen is coming off a phenomenal career at Georgia, where he consistently made plays in biggest games against best competition football. The SEC is toughest conference, the proving ground where NFL scouts can truly evaluate whether a player can handle elite speed and physicality. And Allen has proven it time and time again. Let me break down his skill set, because this is where it gets really exciting for us as Lions fans. First, his speed is legitimate. We're not talking about a linebacker who's just adequate in pursuit. We're talking about a player who can run sideline to sideline, who can chase down running backs from behind, who can match up with tight ends and running backs in coverage without being a liability. In today's NFL, where offenses are spreading you out and attacking you in space, having a linebacker with that kind of speed is absolutely essential. Allen has it in abundance. Second, his versatility is exactly what modern defenses require. You can line him up in the box and know he's going to be physical against the run, filling gaps and making tackles at or behind the line of scrimmage. You can drop him back in zone coverage, trust that he awareness and athleticism cover his area effectively. You can send him on blitzes and he'll generate pressure quarterback. Where Wherever you plug C.J. Allen into your defensive scheme, he's going to find a way. That's the kind of chess piece that defensive coordinators dream about having. Third, and this might be the most important aspect, he's a tone setter. He plays with an edge. He plays with physicality. He's not backing down from contact. He's seeking it out. When you watch his tape from Georgia, you see a player who wants to deliver the big hit, who wants to make the offense feel his presence, who wants to impose his will on every single play. That's Dan Campbell. That's exactly the mentality we're trying to build in Detroit. Allen embodies that philosophy completely. The Georgia connection cannot be overstated. Kirby Smart has built something special in Athens, and the success rate of his players transitioning to the NFL has been remarkable. When you draft a Georgia player, especially one from their defense, you know exactly what you're getting. You're getting someone who's been coached highest level, played against elite competition week after week, who understands what it takes to win championship-level football. The development program at Georgia has become the gold standard, and C.J. Allen is the latest product. Now, let's talk about scheme, because this is crucial. Allen's skill set aligns perfectly with what we're trying to do defensively. We need someone who can play fast, who can make plays in space, who can handle multiple responsibilities without being overwhelmed. We need someone who complements the pieces we already have, elevates the players around. When I watch Allen's tape and think about him playing alongside our defensive line, behind our pass rusher, working in tandem with our secondary, I see a defense that suddenly has an identity. I see a unit that can be physical, fast, fundamentally sound, all at the same time. The question everyone's asked is whether Allen will still be available when the Lions are on the clock at pick 17. And honest, that's a legitimate concern. Linebacker is a premium position, and when you have a prospect of Allen's caliber, teams are going to be interested. There will be other organizations looking at, evaluating whether he fits their, considering whether to use their first-round pick on him. But here's the thing. Draft boards are unpredictable. Players rise and fall based on workouts, interviews, medical evaluation. Teams reach certain positions based on their specific need. There's absolutely a realistic scenario where C.J. Allen is sitting there at 17, and the Lions have the opportunity to grab him. If that happens, if Allen is available and we pass on him, I'm going to need someone to explain to me why. Because when you look at our roster, when you analyze our needs, when you consider what makes sense both short-term and long-term, Allen checks every single box. He addresses an immediate need. He fits our scheme perfectly. He brings the physical mentality Dan Campbell values. He comes from a proven program with an excellent track record of developing NFL talent. He has the athletic profile to succeed in today's NFL. The case for drafting C.J. Allen is overwhelming. Let me also address the alternative scenarios because I want to be thorough here. Yes, we could go cornerback with that pick. Avion Terrell from Clemson is an intriguing option, and given our injury issues in the secondary, would make sense. Yes, we could look at adding another weapon on offense, someone like Mekhi Lemon, who could give Jared Goff another elite target. But here's my perspective. Defense wins champion, and our defense needs that tone setter in the middle more than we need anything else right now. Allen provides that immediately. The impact of adding C.J. Allen would be felt across the entire defense. Our pass rushers would benefit from having a linebacker who can set the edge effectively and force running backs into their gap. Our secondary would benefit from having someone who can handle coverage responsibilities in the middle of the field and take away those intermediate routes that have hurt us. Our run defense benefit from having a physical presence who can fill gaps and make tackles consistent. It's not just about one position getting better, it's about the entire defensive unit elevating because you've added the right piece. I keep coming back to the Georgia line and what that means. Kirby Smart has proven that he knows how to develop linebackers for the NFL. Success rate is there. The track record is undeniable. When you invest a first-round pick in a Georgia defender, you're not taking a gamble. You're making a sound investment based on years of evidence that these players translate to the professional level. C.J. Allen's the latest in that line, and there's every reason to believe he'll continue that tradition of success. For Lions fans, this is the kind of pick that should generate excitement. This is the type of prospect who can immediately contribute, who can develop into a Pro Bowl caliber player, who can be part of our core for the next decade. We're not talking about a projector who needs years to develop. We're talking about someone who can step in from day one and make our defense better. That's the kind of impact you want from a first-round selection. Here's what I'm envisioning. Draft night arrived. The 17th pick is on the clock, and C.J. Allen is still on the board. Brad Holmes walks to the podium and announces that the Detroit Lions are selecting the linebacker from Georgia. The reaction in Detroit would be immediate and overwhelmingly positive. Lions fans understand what we need, and they'd recognize that we just addressed it with an elite prospect who fits perfectly. That's the scenario I'm hoping for, and based on everything I'm seeing, everything I'm hearing, everything I'm analyzing, it's absolutely within the realm of possibility. So, where does all this? The Lions have the 17th pick. C.J. Allen is one of the premier linebacker prospects in this draft. The fit is perfect. The need is clear. The opportunity might be there. Now it's just a matter of waiting to see if the board falls in our favor, if Allen is available, and if our front office makes what I believe would be the right decision to pull the trigger and add him to our defense. I'm optimistic. I'm excited, and I genuinely believe this could be the move that takes our defense to the next level. Now I want to hear from you, Lions fan. Do you think C.J. Allen is the right pick if he's available at 17? Prefer we address the secondary or add another offensive weapon? How important is it for us to find that physical tone setter at linebacker? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I love hearing different perspectives from passionate Lions supporters like yourself. If you found this analysis valuable, you want to stay updated on every Lions development as we approach the draft, make sure you're subscribed to Lions News Fan Report. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We're bringing you comprehensive coverage, in-depth analysis, and all the information you need to stay informed about our beloved Lions. This is your home for Detroit Lions content. Let's keep building toward that championship together. One. Pride.